Two of my favorite poets ever are Adrianne Lenker / Big Thief and Gerard Manley Hopkins, and they're actually linked by a poetic inheritance that's over 1,000 years old. Most of the formal poetry we've read in our lives is structured according to the total number of syllables in a line, but Hopkins' poetry takes precedence from Anglo-Saxon Old English verse and counts the accents in a line. So you may have a variable number of syllables, but the total number of accents is always the same. The other unique structuring device in Hopkins' poetry is this reliance on alliteration, assonance, and sonic echoes. Look at the K, F, and D sounds as kingfishers catch fire, dragonflies draw a flame. Third, Hopkins was obsessed with this philosophical and theological idea of thisness, of the particularity of things. His poetry zooms in with extreme attention to these very minute, often compound images, and then will take us out to view the entire cosmos. Now take a look at the opening lines from Lenker's preposterously gorgeous song, Anything. Read as traditional poetry, we might scan these lines as kind of a regular trochaic meter with these spondee endings. But of course, the prerogative of the singer is that you're able to have a rhythm that might vary from the meter we expect to encounter. Stress placement is ambiguous, but as I hear it, Lenker is emphasizing 4 syllables per line in the first 2 stanzas, even as the number of total syllables per line varies between 7 and 13. Staring down the barrel of a hot sun, shining with the sheen of a shotgun. I'm not suggesting Lenker is writing Old English essential verse or doing sprum rhythm, but they have the same interest in these really musical patterns. This kind of essential poetry that we find in Anglo-Saxon, but also in nursery rhymes, hip-hop, and poets like Hopkins and even J.R.R. Tolkien. Next, look at the sounds. We have these double rhymes at the end of each line. We also have staring, barrel, carol, but most prominent is this repeated sibilant S sound that echoes through the first 14 lines of the song. Star, sun, shotgun, has some, clothes, skin, still skin, shoulder, shirt, sleeve, slipping, Christmas, sis, insist, slice, fist, risk, store, list, piss, calls, and messages. And the craziest thing is that this all works towards a single poetic effect. When she finally breaks this S streak and the 15th and 16th lines with, I don't want to be a part of your fantasy, I just want to be a part of your family. Lenker has this very deliberate rupture of the sonic pattern that makes us feel like after we've been hypnotized, we're sort of yanked out of this dream or out of this fantasy. It's like the human voice is waking us in proof rock. And finally, Lenker has Hopkins' level of extreme attention to the world, these crazy images of an ER visit and listening to someone so intensely that you're able to hear them blinking. From there, Lenker also zooms out and literally shows us the cosmos. Weren't we the stars in the heaven? Weren't we the salt in the sea? These are unbelievable lines, and they only work because we have these super particular specific images earlier. T.S. Eliot says in another context that general universal ideas in poetry work by virtue of the establishment of particulars. Had Lenker started the song with "Weren't we the stars in the heaven?" I'd say, okay, that's a fine line. But since she starts with these hyper-specific images and then takes us out to view the cosmos, it's like encountering the poetic images of stars in the heaven or salt in the sea for the very first time.